Jai Gurudev, everybody. So, welcome to Sri Pitya Nilaya. And here I am in quarantine, self-quarantine of course. It was amazing actually yesterday to see while living Vrindavan how empty everywhere was. The road was completely empty, apart from the police checkpoint, and but it was very nice actually, because you see, like I said at the beginning of the satsang in Vrindavan, they have a notion that the Westerners is responsible in bringing the coronavirus to India. So in the mind, actually they were not wrong. They are not wrong in a way, because first among the coronavirus things was the Italian people who came from Italy to India. So most of the first cases were Italian. So this is so imprinted in the mind of people that they dwell on certain fear. And I saw that yesterday when we were driving and the police stopped us. The first two checkpoints was okay. He said, okay, fine, let them go. The third one, as we stopped there, the head policeman, I guess he's the head policeman, he asked us the paper. So the driver gave the paper. And behind him, another policeman said, "Sir, please don't touch the paper." How people see without touching the paper? So he let us go. Airport was completely empty, and they didn't even check much actually. Amazing, we could take a big bottle of water inside the plane. But the plane was, you see, the people have a different notion also, you know. There were some Dutch people, the moment they see us, you know, they think, oh my goodness. You know, one of them said to Swami Revati, oh, the circus is back, or something like that, you know. But you can see that how fear is triggering inside of people. That people stop thinking, they stop reasoning. And often you see that, it's not only now. When we look at the world itself, we see, you see why people don't reason properly. It is due to their fear. But we had a wonderful trip actually, back to Sri Pitya Nilaya. And it was nice coming back here, yeah, and the air is so beautiful, and really what is so nice also the calmness around. And also in Vrindavan was very calm, it was very nice and sweet, because you could hear the birds singing and everything. So overall, it was not that bad actually, it was wonderful. And you see nature, how nature is becoming. It's beautiful. Even coming here, seeing, you could see behind me how wonderful it is. Blue sky, and but it's a bit chilly, it's a bit cold somehow, you know. Coming from India, especially when it's getting hotter and how to say, day by day. So today Swami Revati is not here because he's also in quarantine. So the question will be asked by Jai Gopalananda.
Jai Gurudev Guruji, what is the purpose of our prayers to help with disasters and diseases if everything is the will of God? It especially feels strange if we pray for other bhaktas that are anyway under your protection. Is there any point to this?
Actually, a similar question was asked some time back. You see, an act of prayer is an act of goodwill and good wishes, where you are forgetting about yourself, you're thinking about somebody else. Whether the prayer is answered or not, it doesn't matter. It's true that everything is in the will of the Lord. Everything is in the will of Giridhariji. Nothing happened, like you said, not a single leaves move, but he don't will it. But as being a human being, we also have a certain feeling. We feel for others. And due to that feeling for others, even if we know about it, it does touch us. You see, you may know, oh yeah, we are the Atma, we are eternal. We are, how to say, all is equal in the Atmic form. But yet, when somebody which is dear to you pass on to the other side, you do feel, I would not say a loss, but you do feel a certain pain inside of you. It's not because you're missing the person, but because you are a human being, You care for other people. Due to that love relationship, you do things like prayer, like japam. It's not because you don't care for that. So prayer and knowing that the Lord is taking care of everything, these two goes hand in hand. What would you lose really if you're praying for somebody? Are you losing something? You're not losing anything. Actually, in reality, you're gaining something, because that blessing, this invisible blessing which that soul from that person is bestowing upon while receiving that prayer also, that is not visible for the eyes of people. So that soul is part of Bhagwan himself, no? A part of him. So when you're addressing your prayer and offering that prayer for the bhakta, for people which need it, but that Atma will reside within, is giving that blessing. So actually it is very wonderful to have a positive thinking, a prayer for somebody, and it encourages you also to be positive. It helps you to stay in that state of positiveness. Because you see, let's say somebody have problem, somebody is ill, okay? In place of joining the person into its pain, which very often people does, when they go to see somebody which is sick, they sit there and become miserable, grumpy face, and crying with that person. In place of elevating the mood of that person, they sit there and they cry. Oh, actually they are not doing it for the person, they're doing it for themselves, because they feel that loss. But in place of being miserable like that, you should elevate the mood of the person. That gives more strength and power, and it keeps you in a positive state and a positive mood. When you are in that positive mood, you can radiate that to others. I have an example I always say, if you go to see the doctor and the doctor sit with you and start crying with you, do you think the doctor will be able to help you? He will never be able to help you. But the doctor have taken an oath, doesn't matter what, I have to help that person. So if I sit and cry with that person, I will never be able to help him. For me to help that person, I have to be strong, and I have to be in my power, then I can help somebody else. So a prayer helps you to be in that positive state and really strengthen, not the person, strengthen you firstly. But strengthen you in your belief, strengthen you in yourself, strengthen you in the way your mind and your intellect function. So prayer is always good, and encourage you to know that, like you said, everything is the will of the Lord. Even if you know that everything is His will, but how much can you accept His will? Very often you can't accept that will of God. Yes, we can say, yeah, we can accept it, it's fine. But very often to accept the will of God is a very great statement. You have to be in a state of mind to be able to accept that. So when you are in that state of mind, then it is easy. It's not just a mere saying, yes, I accept the will of God, because He's doing everything. But knowing that He is truly behind everything. This is through prayer. The power of prayer, hold upon that, Positiveness, and elevate your consciousness to that state where you can really and strongly believe that He is there. Yes.
Jai Gurudev Ji Guruji. I would like to ask if being God realized and an incarnation of God are the same thing. As we accept you as Narayana Himself, should we consider all God realized people as God Himself? Thank you for everything you have given us, dear Guruji.
Okay, I will answer only the first part of that question. So, you see, we all, like I said earlier, we all have a part of the divine within ourselves. A God-realized soul, a God-realized person is not the same as an incarnation. It's two different things. Because a God-realized person, they go through the stage of evolving themselves, which is getting rid of their karma and purifying themselves, purifying the mind, the consciousness, the intellect, the body, and so on. So when all these are cleansed, then they start to shine the divine light. Whereas an incarnation is a divine full or partly, Ansh Avatar, they come for a specific purpose. So for them, they don't have any agenda with karma. But they come here to elevate and to liberate those who have attained to the state of self-realized. So they come to as a reminder that they have to attain God. So God-realized being is those who have been touched by that grace of an incarnation and have had the divine vision for that grace. And they are being freed from that. So, to treat everybody, how do you know firstly that they are God-realized? You don't know. You can't say because somebody is dressed in a particular way or is telling you such beautiful things, but they are God-realized. There is many which is just a professor, a teacher, which help you on your way, but they can't give you that realization. An incarnation, the Jagadguru, the Sadguru, they can give you that realization when you are ready. If you are not ready, why would they give it to you? You will not be able to handle it. Arjuna himself, said, Lord, reveal to me your cosmic form. Yeah? But only if you see that I am ready. Look how wise he is, you know. He's not somebody that just say, okay, listen, I am ready, can you reveal yourself to me? It's a two different thing. He asked Bhagwan Krishna clearly, if you, because you have the great vision, you know it, whether I'm ready or not. I don't know whether I'm ready or not. If you deem that I'm ready, reveal that to me. So Bhagwan, this cosmic form, knows, you know, he's sitting inside of you. Do you think there is any action from your side which will make him reveal himself to you? No, 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 no. This happened automatically. When he sees that you are ready, he will reveal himself to you. Not like some saints from other religion. They say, you know, I was reading about one, they recently canonized this saint, I would not mention. She, throughout her life, she had done so many good things with her life. But at the end of her life, she had doubt. She doubted even that God exists, if God is looking. That doubt was in her mind. There is good people. I will not classify her as a saint. She was a good woman who have helped a lot of people, and a lot of people have been inspired also. So like that, there is many good people in this world who inspired and help other people. But doesn't mean that they can reveal God to you. So it's very important to recognize that also. So how would you recognize that? Firstly, only when you yourself is humble. Through your education, knowledge, all this stuff, no, you will create judgment. But only through your humility, you will recognize that. And this recognition is through your heart, what you feel inside of it. The moment you meet a saint, the moment you meet a realized being, or you meet an incarnation, there is a certain, knowing without any doubt, but he can free me. Or that one can help me to attain liberation. That one can help me to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. But when you meet an incarnation, you have that instant feeling that one is different from all others. You know, he shines a different light. I think this is an avatar. So a way of an avatar is completely different from the ways of a saint or a realized being. So try to understand with the mind which is not yet surrendered is very difficult. Because you will come always to the point of your limitation. Because the mind and intellect function in a finite way. Here you are talking about someone which is infinite. Very complicated to understand with the mind. So that's why I said, with the consciousness, because when your heart reveals, your heart knows, you see, the seat of your soul knows, you know, when your soul inside recognizes that soul sends an energy inside of your body fully. Every cells of your body start to vibrate, because what is vibrating, it is life itself which is vibrating. Without life, without you being here, you know, nothing will exist. Do you think your eyes will have power to see? Your nose will have power to smell? Your ears will have power to listen? Your mind will have power to think? Your intellect will act? No, no. It's only through life. So when that life that Atma which is inside of you recognize that here, this is my Lord. It's a different energy inside. So, next question.
What is the difference between loving your children, doing your duty as a parent, and being a slave to your children?
You see, you have put your children on earth. Repeat the question. Loving your children, serving?
Doing your duty as a parent and being a slave to them.
Okay. Doing your duty as a parent. You have put your children on earth. You know, they didn't ask you to be born here. So, you wanted children, you have it. So, which means you have to assume certain responsibility to care for them, to look after them, to educate them, to become a better human being. So the question is how not to be a slave to them, by reminding that you are the parents. You are the one which is teaching them firstly. And they are learning from you by not only what you are talking to them, but by your action also. Your children are learning through seeing how you are, by listening what you're doing, what you're saying. If you're telling them one thing and then you're doing something else, do you think which one they will learn? They will learn through action, because children learn mostly not by what you are saying to them, but what they see and what they perceived, you know. So through that, what they learn. And if they see that what you are teaching them, you are telling them something, because telling, they will go here, it will disappear the other ears, you know. But through your actions, what you are doing with them, or among you, you know, you as parent, husband, wife, you know, or partners or whatever, you have to set the right example firstly, you know. So the third question, in the third part of that question, is not to be a slave, which means not always say yes, yes, yes. You know, children, when they're small especially, they have a tendency of controlling their parents. Now, I have met many couples who their relationship have become so bad after having children. And some of them have become so wonderful also. So I ask those who have children, why your relationship have been bad? So the couple said, oh, you know, she's giving so much attention only to the child, not to me, you know. Because you see, before the child was there, you were giving attention to your husband, or the husband was giving attention to you. But when the attention is diverted to somebody else, to the child especially, then your relationship become not good between each other. So often children play upon that emotion blackmail, because they know where is your weakness, you know? And they will use any kind of weaknesses, you know, your weakness, to play upon that, because they want your attention. They see that, okay, if I act in that way, they will gain my attention. So they start to act in that way. Now, of course, when they act in that way from the beginning, you have played that what they wanted. So when you have played what they wanted, it will carry on. Then they have you in their grip. So they will make you dance to their tune. Meanwhile, you see that your relationship is to your partner and so on is deteriorating. So this is how children, also especially a child, you know, when a couple who could not have children and they have a child, in place of really teaching the child to grow from their example, they make the child dominate upon their relationship. Then it becomes very difficult. So that's what you have to watch out. There were once an old man and his wife, so they were celebrating their birthday. So the daughter came home with her husband and children. So as they were in the house, of course the daughter was giving so much attention to the child, and the child was so naughty. So the father said, I must say to the mother, I must talk with her. So one day he called her and her husband, and he asked husband and wife, who is the most important person in your life? So he asked his daughter. The daughter said, oh, my child is the most important person in my life. And he asked his son-in-law, and the son-in-law said, my child is the most important person in my life. Then the father said, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to look after, I'm not telling you how to look after your children, but I noticed that there is a certain disharmony between you two. So that's why I ask you, who is the most important person in your life? So you both answered, but the child is the most important person. And then the father said, listen, this is a mistake. Because the most important person in your life should have been towards each another, husband and wife. Between you two, both of you should have been the most important person in your life. Then they were a bit perplexed, Then he carried on and said, look, I have lived very happily 60 years with your mother because we love each another. And for us, even when the children were there, we have never stopped loving each other and caring for each other. Because the children have to learn from their parents. They will learn through what they see. So he said, who is the most important person in your life between you two? It's you to him, him to you. And the children will learn from that by what you share between you each another, what you show to them. They will learn and grow with that. So it is the same, you see, in your life. You have to care for your child, your children. You have to look after them. You have to listen to them. But you have to set example that they also should learn to listen to you. Not by telling them that, oh, you have to listen when I'm saying something. No, by setting example. You firstly as parents, but you are listening to them. Respect comes from both ways, and listening also comes from both ways. So.
Please, could you explain how the gopis were focusing on Krishna while doing their duties? What bhav were they experiencing? As doing day-to-day duties to please and serve God, seeing Him in everything, is more dasya bhakti, while the gopis were in mahabhav. So how did they experience this in day-to-day life?
You see, the gopi, firstly, we have to understand, when we are talking about the gopi was not normal human being. They are great sages who have incarnated to serve their beloved Lord. So gopis firstly have already elevated their spirituality, but you see, to be among the Lord himself, to do such leela with them, they must be beyond the concept of a human being. So as you know, when Ram and Lakshman were traveling, and were passing an ashram where the sages, were meditating, and these sages, they were children of Agnidev. So they were meditating about the Supreme Lord, to have him. So when Ram and Lakshman were passing by, they recognized the same Lord, which they're worshipping to be with. He's here in the person. So they were all filled with this Madhurya Bhav. They started running towards him, to embrace him. Because here there's not a concept of male and female. Because the Atma recognized Paramatma. When Atma recognized Paramatma, their gender disappeared completely. So they were running to embrace him, to be with him, to jump on him, to hug him, At that moment, Ram stopped them, said, no, stop. In this incarnation, I'm already married. I can't fulfill your wish. You want to be with me? Please, I will grant this wish in your next life. So they were all incarnate when Bhagwan decided to come in the form of Lord Krishna. They all came as the gopis. And so to fulfill that desire, that deep wish to be with the Lord in an intimate way, Bhagwan came, and they also came, and they came as the gopi. So when Bhagwan is there, do you think that Atma doesn't recognize him? So that Atma is burning with that desire inside of him. So for them, whatever they do is about their beloved Lord, nothing else. This world doesn't matter. They have already transcended this world. Many lives they have transcended this world. Their only desire was only to serve Bhagwan himself. Chapter 10, verse 3, Bhagwan Krishna said, those mortal who knows me to be unborn, beginningless, and the Lord of the world, they are undeluded and free from all sin. Just take this and see the gopis. Those gopis, they recognize that this is the Supreme Lord. And it is not just a recognition of the mind itself, oh yeah, he's the Lord. No, it's that deep intimacy. You get to know somebody through that deep, intimate relationship which you have with that person. Without this deep, intimate relationship to that person, you doesn't know that person. So through that relationship that they have towards the beloved Lord, they recognize him in everything. He is the one which is the Supreme Lord, which is unborn, He is beginningless, and he is that Supreme Being himself. So their mind is not deluded by limitation of norms. The mind is not deluded by doubts or anything else. Those who have transcended that. So the bhav inside of them was that of a lover, which doesn't recognize anything else apart from the beloved. So deep inside they know they have to do their duty, but their mind their mind was upon the Lord himself. So they were centered into their self. They were self-realized, And here Bhagwan came and said, okay, you want me fully, even being self-realized. Here is God realization. That union, that intimacy between a self-realized and the beloved Lord. Because you see, very often in the mind of people, they confuse self-realization and God realization. They think that, okay, I have attained self-realization. Yes, through your sadhana, you have attained to self-realization. But God realization, it is that grace Himself. Even that self-realization, it is His grace in the deepness of things. Because if you don't will it, it's not happening. Through that deepness, you see, of what that, you see, when somebody attains to self-realization, it's not that the journey finish. The journey carries on. It carries on until you have that sublime relationship, that deep intimacy with the beloved Lord Himself. And that the Gopi of Vrindavan, and many saints had this deep intimate relationship with Him. That's why they could perceive Him in everything that they are doing. I think they have placed Him first. I don't want anything else. Only Him, nothing else. This single pointedness which they hold upon, that make their beloved Lord real in everything. Not only when He was there, but in everything that they do, they say only Him. It's like somebody which is madly in love. Somebody which is madly in love, what is in the lover mind? In the mind of a lover, it's always the beloved. Where is that person? Where is he? Where is he? Why is he not falling? Why you're always looking at your phone 10 times, 100 times a day? But this intensity of that, you see, make the gopis seeing their Lord in everything. But with the same longing, when would He give me Himself? And this is so deep in itself to go into, because here it's not only that realized soul which is asking Bhagwan to reveal Himself, but the same longing, it is from the Lord Himself long to be with them. So it is not one-way relationship, it's a two-way relationship where Bhagwan make everything possible for Him to come. And this is so beautiful to see that the Supreme Lord Himself coming for that devotee itself, for those who have that deep longing for Him. So, Jai Gurudev.